Kheon, welcome to the cave. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, the listeners and viewers that tune into this interview, they can see you as Tristan on SkyMed, which just premiered on Paramount Plus a couple of days ago, about a week ago. It's also available on CBC Canada. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. CBC Canada and CBC Gem app.
So, what's the feeling so far, man? A lot of people are tuning in and they love this show.
It's kind of surreal because I typically just live my life as a normal person, but I guess it does like really warm my heart to know that people are actually really enjoying the show. So that's all I ever wanted when we got into filming. It was just I just want to put on a good show, and I think we've accomplished that, and I'm really proud of it.
So before we jump more into the show, I was doing some research on you, and you have an interesting life. Born in Jamaica, but
Yeah.
grew up in Toronto.
Mhm.
And acting wasn't always there. You thought about even playing football for a while.
Yeah, I guess with the acting thing, I kind of always knew I wanted to do it, but coming from an immigrant household, your parents aren't really trying to hear that, you know. So, just go to school, get a good education, get like a good paying job, just kind of the normal thing. But I didn't want to be normal, so it took most of my life running away from it. But I'm glad I took the leap and I'm doing it now. And I guess in regards to football, yeah, I was a pretty athletic kid. Played basketball mostly. Started playing football in the 12th grade, and was athletic enough to get some interest from some Canadian universities to play. And like anyone that's playing football in university or college, there's always that thought in your mind, like, oh, maybe I could take this thing pro, But life has a funny way of working things out. But I think I'm happy with pretty much like my original dream, which was to be an actor. So yeah, I'm not too sad.
How old were you when you like started to like, all right, I really think I want to get into this?
Oh, funny thing. Have you seen that movie? You probably have. You seem like you're on the same age as me. Have you seen Little Rascals?
Yes.
Yeah. So funny enough, that was the movie that made me want to get into acting. I was like, okay, like look at all these kids, like they get to be on set, they're driving go-karts, they got a club. This is awesome, right? So that was like the moment I realized this is something I wanted to do, because I watched that movie, I don't even know how many times. I memorized all the characters' lines.
Oh wow.
So it was that movie that kind of sparked it. And then obviously my parents, they weren't really feeling it, but hey, we're here now.
Right. So when you told your parents you're going for it, what was like their reaction at the end?
I guess it was a bit mixed, kind of like, oh, are you sure you want to do this? Because I was in the radio field before, and it was like a steady paying job. It wasn't great, but I just decided I wanted to take the leap myself. So, but my brothers were supportive, but my parents were just kind of, they're looking out for you. They want to make sure you're able to take care of yourself and sustain an actual life. But no, I think I'm doing pretty all right now. So can't complain.
What's the reaction now watching you on TV? They must love it.
Yeah, like I even got they love the show. They love my character. It's interesting. I even got a few calls. What was it? Last week, my grandma called me from Jamaica. She's 95 years old. Shout out to Miss Amy. That's what she goes by. And she was just telling me how proud of me she is. And like, even I was doing commercials before I booked SkyMed, and like some of the commercials were reaching Jamaica, and they're just like really proud that I'm able to do something that I love, and that's kind of, I'd like to think is an important job. So yeah.
You've worked on some cool projects that I've seen, like you had like Batwoman, Superman Lois, just to name a few, Riverdale, but what's been like your favorite project you've worked on? Would you say it's SkyMed, or is there another one that still excites you when you tell people you worked on?
Well, so far, SkyMed, because it was, one, not only like my biggest role, but it was just like a great experience, just being on set consistently, like every single day. But if we're gonna leave SkyMed out of it, just for a second, not for the rest of the interview, I would have to say Riverdale was awesome, but I have to show some love to my Gabby Duran and the Unsittables fans. You might not know, I was on a Disney series. It's on Disney Plus, 2 seasons out. I originally was supposed to be a waiter, didn't even have a name. Went in there, did my thing. They loved what I did, wrote me into the show. 2 seasons later, there we are. So I have to show some love to Gabby Duran and the Unsittables. It was fun because it's a kid's show. I got to get slimed a few times because it was like aliens and stuff. So I got to live my Disney kid fantasy through that show.
But I assume you would never say no again if you can go back and work on another Disney show.
Oh no, definitely not.
So yeah, let's jump into SkyMed. How were you approached for this? Tell us about your audition. And did you originally go in for Tristan?
Yeah. Funny thing is, I don't even know if I should be telling this story this much, but like I don't know, it's the truth. When I originally auditioned for SkyMed, I was actually spending all day preparing for something else because I just had like it was like 4 big like monologues in it, so I was trying to like absorb it. So I spent all day doing that. And my friend Kareem Malcolm, shout out to Kareem. He was helping me tape for it, and he had to go home. And but I remembered, like, I guess like the SkyMed audition was due like a couple days later, but he was already there and he lives an hour out. So I was like, hey, like, do you think you can help me with this tape? And he's like, all right, I got like half an hour to kill, like before I need to be where I need to be. So I took 10 minutes, downloaded all the information, the lines and everything. And it was something like special about this one because it didn't feel like I had to rack my brain to remember my next word. It just felt natural. Like the writing was good. It was just one of those moments where like the universe aligns. And then I don't think I did more than 2 takes for each scene and sent it off, felt good about it, didn't expect to hear anything back. And then literally 2 weeks later, I get a pin, which is kind of like a hold for like people that don't know. It's like they're considering you, but you're not exactly picked yet. So I was like, all right, this is cool. Like, not gonna hold my breath because that's kind of how I operate. I operate kind of on an even keel mindset, thanks to sports. Yeah. So, and then that week later, there was contract talks, and I was like, okay, this is this is a real thing. And then I'm gonna say this now: the producers, y'all were playing with my emotions, kept pushing back when we'd know and when we wouldn't, like, so like that went on for a while. So when I got the news, I was excited, but at the same time, like it just didn't seem real. Everyone else was like excited for me, like, and I was just kind of like stoked in that moment. Because my emotions were up and down like weeks prior because they weren't sure who they were gonna go with, and then finally they chose me, and the rest is history.
I bet it felt real when you were filming those scenes in the cold winter.
Oh yeah. Actually, a couple scenes inside of the hangar were a lot colder than the scenes outside for some reason. Well, trapped cold air, I guess. But yeah, outside, inside, Winnipeg is an interesting place. The Wasps, yeah, they play no games out there. So, but overall, it was just an amazing experience, and I'm really blessed. And yeah, I just feel privileged and blessed to be a part of such like a great show, and I just love that everyone is reacting to it the way they're reacting to it. It really, really hits home,
So when you booked the role, Tristan, what was the description you were given to him, and how did you prepare to play this role?
Well, it wasn't really that hard because I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but the key description was sunshine on the cloudiest day. And I was like, that's me, like every day of my life. Like that's why it felt easy to just kind of deliver in my audition. But that was like one of like the main things, that he was a nurse. Yeah, the part of the LGBTQ community, and that he's sunshine on the cloudiest day. Like that's basically who I am as a person. Some people may disagree, but all the real ones know. So yeah.
What do you think was like the most challenging playing this character? Because like I had Thomas on, he's like, I had to learn like everything about pilot and stuff like that. Like, what was yours? Did you have to learn a lot of medical terms and everything?
Yeah, that was one of the toughest things to do. Like my mom was a nurse, and but she didn't really like talk about work because work is stressful, and there's it was like a high emergency hospital that she worked at. So that's all I really knew. But we did get a lot of like medical training, and we had an on-site like a medical professional, like paramedic. His name is Steve. What we call him Medical Steve. Shout out to him, because there are some days where, like, you've never done it before. You don't know what you're doing, but he was there to kind of help me, not kind of, but actually help me give as like real of a performance as I possibly can doing some of these medical procedures, not just me, with like Natasha and Morgan as well, and
Yeah.
Rebecca, aka Emma, so yeah, it was a bit like of a learning curve, but once you get into it, it becomes a lot easier. So yeah.
So I was told that you guys got together even before you started filming. And did you guys live together or something? You were close with each other for a while before you started filming.
Yeah, we lived in the same condo building.
Okay.
It was like the height of COVID. It's probably like best,
Yeah.
and it's probably easier to pick everyone up to drive to set or like location and whatnot. And we just like throughout the whole season, we just hung out with each other at everyone's apartments. We play like board games, just kind of have that family environment, family atmosphere that like portrays on the show. So, yeah, it was an interesting experience, but it's kind of like being somewhat isolated. But once things start to calm down a little bit with the restrictions,
Yeah.
it was a little bit easier, but it wasn't that bad that because we had such like a great group of people to be around all the time. So it was a lot easier.
You mentioned the cast. How was it like working with them now? And then, the chemistry between you on set?
Um, it's honestly, it's like seamless. It just feels like everyone's kind of like my brothers and my sisters. Like I don't have any sisters like in my real life, but it was nice to kind of connect with all the amazing women on the show too, and just learn about them and like learn about their career struggles. And we kind of share a lot of similarities in, because this is not an easy business to break into. You get a lot of no's. So we kind of all like bonded over our perseverance and our, I guess, determination and stick-to-itiveness when it comes to being an actor. So, it was, and it portrayed well on screen too, because it just seemed like, all right, these people are very familiar with each other. They're comfortable to walk around darn near naked. And I'm not saying that we did that off camera, just just on camera, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like a nice, comfortable like environment. So, and I hope that portrayed well on screen, because that's what it was off and on camera. Mind you, again, more PG off camera.
If we see a season 2, is there somebody that you didn't have that many scenes with that you hope for to have more scenes with the next season?
Somebody that didn't have enough scenes with that I hope. I would say I'd love to have a couple more scenes with Rebecca. I think I've only had one scene, like well, no, I've had a couple scenes, but like scenes that we're actually like interacting with each other. Want more with Ace. He plays Bodie. And I'd like a few more scenes with Braeden, because I never really got to work with him. Braeden Clarke, he plays Jeremy on the show, aka Nurse Crystal's old flame. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, Tristan gets more of like an interaction with everyone, and also my good friend Praneet as well. Yeah, I've only had one scene with him. Yeah.
What's been your favorite Tristan scene that sticks out the most from the season?
My favorite. That's a tough one. I would have to say the moment where in episode 5, I saved Delmont from committing suicide. And it was just kind of, not that I really like dealt with that kind of stuff in my own personal life, but it was just an interesting moment because art imitates life. And even though we're just on camera, there's a harness, everything's like safe, but just trying to be in the realness of that moment of somebody is ready to take their life, and then you're right there to be like a helping hand to guide them back, to convince them that it's life is worth living. So that was like a very like powerful moment for me. And then I guess in what Tristan's character, he's dealing with loss as well. So just the parallels of that and the emotions, I can't describe it, but it was a very, episode 5 overall was a very very powerful episode for me. And it's hard to pinpoint one moment, but I guess when I saved Delmont from committing suicide, that would be one of the first ones that stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm. Now, everybody loves like the medical drama type of TV shows. Like, what's been like the reaction for like now from your friends or the family or even fans? Have I'm sure you got hit with some DMs on social media about the show. Like, what's been the reaction?
Oh, it's been great. I've actually like, well, I don't want to even say surprisingly, but everyone's been like really respectful and showing lots of support. Like, I don't want to even call them random fans, but like just like lovers of SkyMed. They hit me up, telling me how much they like my performance and how much they love the show. Can't wait for season 2. But one of the main things is everyone was saying, when is season 2 coming out? Are you guys filming it? So like, that's kind of what you want to hear, right? It's like, okay, you worked hard for this amount of months, for 5-6 months, putting on a not easy show to make.
Right.
But you got planes and like medical stuff, and you got to cooperate with the weather, and all these different factors kind of like pitted against you, but you still managed to put out a banger of a show and people want more. That's like the best feeling. So I love that response. Yeah.
So SkyMed, Paramount Plus, and like you mentioned, CBC Gem. What's next for you now? Any other projects that you're allowed to tell us about that you got coming out or you about to work on? Or
got a couple things in the works, but I can't really speak on those yet until documents are released.
Right.
But just stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Speaking of stay tuned, how can the listeners and viewers find you on social media?
Okay, you can find me at Kheon St. Michael Clarke on Instagram, and it's KheonStMichael CLARKE, all one word, all no spaces. You can find me on there. Shoot me a DM, comment on a picture or something. Let me know how you thought about SkyMed or maybe anything else I've been in. If you're a fan of Riverdale, Gabby Duran, Van Helsing, whatever. But SkyMed out now, Paramount Plus in the States and worldwide, and in Canada, CBC and CBC Gem. Check it out.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you for giving me a few minutes today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.